What up? How you guys doing? My name is Nestor, and welcome back to another episode of Next Week Tech. We're gonna talk about today and try to hopefully inform you a little more about it. Is Oneplus and their basically new plan. I'm trying to take over the lower end phone game business. Essentially, where they're coming up with two new devices. One for your, I guess you're trying to take over your mid-tier phones. This will probably be the device for you, and another one for your lower end tiers. And if you're looking for that, it'll probably be a better device for you as well. Without further ado, let's get things started. All right, so first on the list is gonna be Oneplus Nord, the N10 and 5G. Basically, what this phone is, in my opinion, they're just trying to kind of hit the mid-tier phone market, just because mid-tier phones, they are mid-tier, but for some reason they're kind of creeping up around the $600 to $700 range. You're not even getting the best bang for your buck. I'm gonna be honest with you, just because some of those devices are in that range, but they're not 5G compatible. This phone is going to be a 5G compatible phone. A little more about it. So it is a 6.49 inch screen. It does have a 90 Hz refresh rate. That 90 Hz refresh rate is basically the smooth motion of how fast something goes. If you have used like the newer Samsungs, you have the 120 Hz refresh rate, or even your newer TVs, if you have a 120 Hz refresh rate, is basically how fast pixels can change in that given time frame. So 90 pixels really per second, I'm being honest with you. Glass on it, it is Gorilla Glass 3, so not Gorilla Glass 5 like the newer device. So the glass is a little, not cheaper per se, just a little weaker. So I would recommend getting a glass screen protector for it, or some sort of face covering, that way you don't crack the glass really easily. It is going to be on Android 10, and also the chipset on it is a Snapdragon 690. That Snapdragon 690 did come out last year. That just kind of helped kick mid-tier phones to get access to 5G. So for RAM on it, it's going to have a 6GB RAM. If you guys know these technical terms, it is a LPDDR4X RAM. Storage, it is a 128 gig storage. It is now expandable. Most OnePlus products aren't expandable. I guess they're trying to slowly integrate it now, or that was just a kind of a pain point of people who suggested in the past. They probably liked the phone, but there was just not enough memory for them to put in it. So it's a 128 gig storage now, and it is expandable now to 512, which is really great. Most people are not going to use 512, so if you need 512, that is the option for you. In terms of unlocking, you can unlock it with the fingerprint scanner in the back, or you can do a face unlock for the device. That way you kind of have a little best of both worlds. Most devices only have either the glass fingerprint scanner or just the back fingerprint scanner, and not really a face unlock. For battery, it's a 43 milliamp hour battery, but it does use, it's a little small for some devices, but I'm pretty sure 4300 is pretty okay for most people if you're looking for a mid-tier anyways. It is capable of their warp charge, fast charging. So basically warp charging is about, I'll make sure I have the right numbers here. I believe it's 30 minutes for half of the battery, or 30 minutes for 67% of the battery, something like that. I'll probably be up here somewhere. In terms of the fun part, if you're kind of a photographer, main camera, it is a 64 megapixel main camera, so it was a really good main camera for 64 megapixels. It does have an ultra wide camera, or angles lens. It is an 8 megapixel angle camera, so the field of view is 119 degrees. Has a macro lens, which is 2 megapixel macro lens, and a monochrome lens, which is 2 megapixels as well. So it does have 4 cameras on these devices, and which is probably really good. I guess they're trying to just stuff those cameras in there just to say they have it. I'll be honest, for 2 megapixels on both, I'm not really much a photographer myself, so I can't really state if those are good. That's just kind of be your point of view. If you go check out a store, so you kind of look at it yourself. In terms of videos, if you're looking to do 4K on this, it is 4K compatible. You can do up to 30 frames per second. It does have 60 frames per second, or up to 60 frames per second on 1080p. You can do slow-mo and time-lapse. Also, it does have a 16 megapixel front camera, and you can record up to 1080p at 60 frames per second. Ports, it does have a USB-C port, and also kind of a good thing if people needed it, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So if you still use wired headphones, but OnePlus now got your back. Nowadays phones are not even carrying 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks. So that's good in a sense if you still like to carry those wires around. And in terms of the most important, which I think is the most important, is kind of price. There's no point of saying all that if you don't even know the price point on it. So for the price point on this, it is $300. That is the, I think they only have one model, which is their Midnight Ice. 6 gig RAM with a 128 storage for $300. I believe as of now, only T-Mobile is going to carry it. I'm looking at other websites, and they are compatible with every carrier. But as of now, only T-Mobile is selling it on their website. So it might be a contract thing that they have with OnePlus. Not really sure. At the end, we'll talk about what promos they have with T-Mobile right now. If you are a T-Mobile customer, I've looked for other promotions with other carriers. I personally didn't see any online. I'm kind of just trying to dig around. I didn't see anything. I tried to look for it. Unfortunately, there's nothing there. And now this is going to be for my kind of not low tier, but it is a lower tier device. It is a OnePlus N100. So first, I guess the higher the number, the not less quality is, but you know, the cheaper it's going to be. So for the N100, it is a 6.52 inch display, which is really good actually. Resolution, it's only HD plus. That's the only thing I see on this. And for the refresh rate, it is a 90 hertz refresh rate, so still really good. You still keep the refresh rate, and also it does have it's Gorilla Glass 3. Yeah, you start slurring the words when you speak a little quicker, so bear with me. It does run on Android 10, so that's really good. Processing on it is Snapdragon 460, and RAM, 4 gigs of RAM, storage, 64 gigs of storage, and it supports up to 256 gigs of memory, which is actually really good if you're trying to expand it. Still uses a fingerprint scanner, still uses Face Unlock, and also the battery life, they put a little bit more, I guess because they're not using the new Warp Charge. So it's a 5,000 milliamp battery, but only an 18 watt fast charging capability. Camera, looks like there's only 3 cameras on this model, which is your main, your macro, and your bokeh lens. 13 megapixels main camera, 2 megapixel macros, and a 2 megapixel bokeh camera lens. I don't know what bokeh is. We can always try to figure that out together. Probably put in the description. Really don't know personally myself. Video is a 1080p video at 30 frames per second. And also front-facing camera, it is 8 megapixel front-facing camera. It records up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. You can always downgrade it. That's just kind of the highlights of this product. It apparently does support. It is eligible to support 5G on these, or Wi-Fi support 5G, but it only supports regular LTE on this device. So there's no 5G compatibility on this device. So if you're looking for a 5G device, I would recommend the N10 series or the Note 10 N10, or maybe a different phone, but probably the Note 10. I'll be real honest with you, just because of the price point. In terms of ports, it's usually still going to use USB-C, and also it's going to keep the 3.5mm headphone jack. So that's now a second phone that keeps 3.5mm headphone jack. That's actually really good. In terms of the price point, this phone is almost half of the N10, which is actually really good. I'm not sure how they almost got at that price point for everything that's coming along with it, especially with the expandable storage. It is $180 price MSRP. So that being said, if you're looking for something, on low end that doesn't have all those bells and whistles, but still a great phone for video taking, probably photography, for very light photography, the N100 is probably be the better bet for you. In terms of promotions, this is kind of where it kind of gets a little weird. I've been looking through every carrier. They said you're going to be with every carrier. So far, I'm only seeing it with T-Mobile. It might be just a contract thing that they have associated with them. I'm not sure. That's just something you want to ask your providers, see if they have it in their location. If not, you can always go to the OnePlus website, buy it unlocked outright that day, have it shipped to you, and you can just put in your SIM card and start using whatever carrier you're using it on now. So they are compatible with every carrier according to OnePlus website. Now in terms of back to promotion, T-Mobile has essentially free OnePlus N10s. The way to get that is essentially either have a new line on the account, or B, you're gonna have to come over to T-Mobile. I mean, if you're already coming over, that's just a free phone for you to kind of grab and go. The way the promotion works is it's over a 24-month period, so they'll credit you back over 24 months. In terms of the line, to keep it for 24 months, there's kind of a deal with that. If you wanted to take off that line, or eventually you so happen to leave the carrier, for example, they'll just whatever's left. So let's say halfway through the year, after 12 months, they only give you $150, so the remaining $150 will be kind of out of your pocket. That's just kind of it about OnePlus. It's kind of a shorter video just because there's nothing going on right now. Probably kind of a little update here. We're probably going to talk about maybe other videos in terms of like maybe getting a discount with the carrier, or finding ways to get your bill cheaper, just because during these times I think we're all trying to get a little bit of money here and there saved. I'm also trying to find new ideas on the channel, so if you have any ideas, please let me know down below. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. My name is Esther. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any suggestions, please leave it down in the comments below. Please like, subscribe. Let me know if anything I can help. Maybe something I didn't discuss, or maybe something I missed. Please let me know. I'll try to put it somewhere that I missed in the comments. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Esther. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, thanks for coming in again. And as always, you're having a bad day. Tomorrow's always a better one. Catch you guys in the next one.